Hey everyone, Chrissy here, and today I'm going to show you how to create this card using waffle flower stamps along with some ThermOWeb supplies. We're going to create some awesome shimmering accents. So the first thing I did was I stamped this cute little cactus succulent combo from a waffle flower stamp set called Potted. Now, since the stamp itself was pretty large, I decided to use my Misti stamping tool just to make sure I got a good impression. I stamped it on watercolor cardstock because I knew I wanted to do some watercoloring. So I was concerned that if I just used a regular black, the impression wouldn't be good, and then once you stamp it, it's kind of hard to realign it. So you can see I just used a little bit of powder there because I decided I was also going to heat emboss it. And I inked up that image, and then I stamped it actually a few times using the Misti tool. And because it's all positioned in the same spot, I could stamp it like 30 times and nothing would move. So I did it 3 times just to make sure everything was okay. And then I went and I added some clear embossing powder, make sure the whole thing was covered, and then I activated it all with my heat gun. And that way everything was protected. I knew that the ink wouldn't smear when I went and I added in my watercolors. So I'm going to let you watch me color. I use my Spectrum Aquas here, and you can just kind of see the process, and I will be back in just a few minutes. Okay, so once everything was colored, I decided to start adding my little shimmer foil elements. So I'm using my Deco foil adhesive pen. Now this pen is great because you can color anything in and add foil wherever you've colored. The only thing is you have to make sure that it is 100% dry before you add the foil. There's no need for a laminator or a heat gun or any other type of tool. You literally just color with this adhesive pen where you are going to add your foil, and then you add it on. So while I was letting that dry, I decided that I was going to die cut a cute little Celebrate die here. This is also from Waffle Flower. It's called Celebrate Word Die. And so I just cut that out of some Shimmering black cardstock. And before I did that, I added some Easy Cut adhesive to the back. So this adhesive is great because it literally can turn any piece of paper into a sticker. So I just trimmed a piece on there and then I die cut it. And then once everything was die cut, and I will show later, you peel off the backer and then you literally have a sticker. So I also decided to add a little bit of like a shadow in the background. I kind of felt like the white was too harsh. I just wanted to soften it up. So real quickly, I just took my Spectrum Aqua markers again, like I used previously, and I just added a little bit of a shadow there. And now you can see I'm just taking this REBEKAH MEIER foil. This is the antique pearl color. I thought this was so pretty. And I just pressed it on to where the foil, or where I had used that adhesive pen, and then boom, everything was foiled. So now I also wanted to add some additional shimmer. So I took a shoebox and I grabbed my iridescent glitter dust and I sprayed that there. Just make sure you do it like in a well-ventilated area. I made sure that I had the windows open in my house, and my craft desk is right by my window, so it was kind of like wafting outside. Just make sure it's well ventilated. It is a little bit strong, but the nice thing about it is, and it is kind of hard to see on camera and on pictures, but it adds a really nice sheen over your entire piece. So now I'm using my 3D foam strips to start assembling the card. You can also use 3D foam squares. I just love these strips when I'm putting on like an entire panel on a card, because literally I just drop it down and cut it, and then the whole thing is raised instead of having to use a bunch of my squares. So here, I'm also going to go ahead and I'm going to add more foam strips to that panel that I colored and added the foil to. And you can see here I just lay them down and then I trim them. And then I save those extra pieces. Those basically become the foam squares for other projects. So I hang on to every little piece, use it all. See, I'm using some of my extra pieces there, and boom, it's all set. So now I can assemble this to that panel. Now that black panel I put on is also the same cardstock that I cut from the die cut, the Celebrate die cut, so everything is going to coordinate perfectly. So now we had put that easy cut adhesive on, and you can see that it just peeled off, and off camera there's a couple teeny tiny pieces that got stuck, so off camera I'm kind of pulling those apart, and now I can just kind of stick it on wherever I want, trying to decide where. And I finally did go with that lower corner. I didn't want to cover up that image, it's so pretty. So I thought that lower corner was perfect, and it's got a little bit of shimmer on there. I did decide to add just a little bit more using a sparkle pen. I really wanted the shimmer on this card to pop because I have that iridescent spray on the background, I have the foil accents, and now I have a touch of shimmer on the die cut as well. And I also made a coordinating tag off camera. You can kind of see it there. So thanks so much for stopping by. I hope you'll give this card a try.